the ball both days as well, and sports scene highlights on the telly each night. But for now, we're about to kick things off for this weekend of SPFL football. The live action comes from Dingwall here on Sportsound and BBC Radio Scotland. John Robertson, Willie Miller and Al Lambert with full live commentary of Ross County against Aberdeen.
Yeah, thanks very much, Richard. Welcome to Dingwall for a huge game with so much at stake as the season reaches a critical phase. The prize for County tonight is a move out of the relegation playoff spot. Even a draw would do that. For Aberdeen, it's an opportunity to open up a 5-point gap on Hearts. And that £6 million European windfall the Hearts chief executive Andrew McKinley outlined during the week, that would be quite a coup. We're underway. Ross County not hanging about, going from right to left as we look at it from the back of the main stand. It's immediately fired forward, and immediately Liam Scales feels he needs to concede the corner. Safety first from the Aberdeen centre back, and an early opportunity for County to load the box and try and put some pressure on what has been an impressive Aberdeen backline, certainly since the arrival of Matty Pollock and Angus MacDonald. Aberdeen had conceded more than anyone in the league before their arrival, but they have helped them shut up shop. Can they do so in the opening few seconds here? The corner kick is going to come in from the right hand side. It's a left-footed in-swinger, nodded away only to the edge of the box where Watson will try and keep it alive. Now it's Kenna, he's got Laturi in support. It seemed to come off Kenna last, and it will be an Aberdeen goal kick, and Willie Miller. Aberdeen survived that early bit of pressure from County.
Yeah, I think you would expect that, you know, coming up here on a Friday night, that Malcolm Mackay's got his team kind of raring to go early in the game and playing that long ball. You know, John has spoken about it. They like to get it forward early, they like to get the defence tested. It was straightforward, it was right over the top. Scales had to give the corner away, but Aberdeen defended it particularly well.
Goal kick taken by Ross, nodded out of play by Ross McCrory. It will be a County throw-in on this near side, the County left. And I think as Richard said earlier on, 2,500 Aberdeen fans have made their way to Dingwall tonight, and they're making a good old racket in the stand away to our left-hand side behind the goal of Kelly Ross. Here's Josh Sims with an early opportunity. Liam Scales comes in. Simon Murray trying to pick up the second ball, breaks to Ken at the edge of the box. His shot is blocked, but Aberdeen having to scramble a bit of defence there. John Robertson as Ross County make the early running.
Yeah, that's what we said, they would put pressure on Aberdeen. They've done it again, a simple ball forward, flicked on by Jordan White, bodies around it. Simon Murray's first shot blocked, Kenna's fault blocked. They're getting men forward, and as we both alluded to earlier on, Aberdeen are in for a test tonight.
Certainly looks that way in the opening exchanges. As Laidlaw knocks it long, White wins the flick on. Murray almost able to capitalise. Sims in and about the attacking area as well, as Aberdeen again work it clear, but it's already clear that County aren't going to sit back and admire Aberdeen's recent run. But here come Aberdeen for the first time in the game, and it's Duncan trying to thread it into the penalty area. Clarkson was his target, but it's knocked away by Harmon, picked up by McCrory, middle of the Ross County half. Now Clarkson takes over again, right hand side, tries to thread that through for McCrory. It's a good looking ball. McCrory gets there, cuts it back, away by Watson, only as far as Shinnie. Roundly booed by the County fans for his previous allegiance to Cali Thistle, no doubt, as Scales picks up and then knocks it into the County area, headed away by Baldwin. Well, it's been a pretty frantic start, 3 minutes gone, no goals, but Aberdeen just trying to edge their way into things after a lightning start by County. It's out for a throw-in over on the far side, and it does look like the two formations, they are pretty much matching up each other, which could either be fascinating or deadly boring.
Yeah, hopefully not deadly boring. You know, you said that was a good looking pass from Clarkson. I thought it was an absolutely brilliant pass, you know, for Ross McCrory to get onto, and a little bit unfortunate. I didn't think the cross from McCrory was good enough, but that's the kind of a quality that Clarkson's got. If you give him a little bit of space in there, he can pick out the passes.
Certainly can. We've seen that. He can also hit them from distance, albeit his goals have rather dried up. They've been spectacular when they've come. Here's Pollock for Aberdeen, more or less on the halfway line, right hand side, clips it forward for the run of McCrory. He wins the header. Laidlaw has to dash off his line, then he thought about it, and there was a bit of a mix up there with young Dylan Smith, but eventually Laidlaw lands on the ball before Majowski can make anything of it. And Laidlaw now bowls it out to the left hand side for Baldwin, back in the county starting lineup after 3 games out with a ban. Looks for the run of Murray, but straight behind for a goal kick. John, I was interested in you saying pre-match that you thought Simon Murray is ideally suited to the Premiership up here. What is key attributes for you that will endear him to the county fans?
Just what you said there, he's prepared to go in behind, and Willie will tell you that any defender, if a striker plays in front of you, then you're fairly comfortable all day, because you can see him, you know what he's doing. The moment they're running behind you, you've got to turn back, face your own goal, or they start behind and coming in. It's a problem, and what I would say for both teams, the strikers on both sides look sharp already. They look as if they're going to cause problems for the defenders on both sides as well.
Quite refreshing as well to see both teams play two out-and-out strikers. None of this one off the striker nonsense for these two tonight. Anyway, we'll see if that brings goals. As Richard said, it was a goalless encounter last time out at Pittodrie as County win themselves another corner over on the far side, and a 1-1 here when Duke scored late on, only for that to be cancelled out by William Akio in the final minute to earn County a point. Here they are looking for the opening goal. It's going to be another in-swinger from the far side. In fact, it's played short. And then it'll come to the edge of the box. Luturi just tries to clip it in. Murray claims for a handball there. Who's going to break to? Chance here for Smith, and he just completely missed his kick from 6 yards out as Aberdeen try to scramble it clear. Still they can't do so. It is blocked again. More claim for a handball. These will be looked at by the VAR, of course. Greg Aitken is the man in the VAR studio, and Ewan Anderson says just hold on a minute to Jack Baldwin. The ball is out for a throw-in, but that won't be taken. Chaps, your view, is there a handball in either of those?
Well, I'm not so sure about the first one, it happened that quick. The second one, certainly the big lad's thrown himself in his arms, whether they're out or not, but you know, maybe the distance on both of them, they were quite tight to it.
Yeah, we can hear the Tannoy announcer saying that the VAR is checking possible handball. Willie?
I don't think they necessarily take that into consideration. If it's hit Pollock's hand, then I think they'll give the penalty. You know, for me, he's not giving it. No. I wasn't sure if it hit his hand or not. He certainly threw himself at it. Normally, if it's hit their hand at all, then the penalty's given, so I can only assume that it wasn't a handball.
Here's Luturi firing it to the back post. It's a good looking ball. Didn't quite reach Murray first time around, but he does go and collect over on the right hand side. Still 0-0, 7 played. County having the better of the play so far, although Aberdeen have had their moments in these early stages as Sims picks up right hand side. Then it's crossed in by Randall almost from the goal line. It's cut back more than anything. It's swept clear as Majowski tries to make something of it. Duke's looking for it as well, but Majowski can't find him, and it's picked up once more by Sims right hand side. He looks sprightly in these early stages as well. Can't find a way past Johnny Hayes though, as I put the commentator's curse on him, much to the delight of Willie Miller. Liam Scales manages to get his lines cleared. It's Ross County first to most of the second balls so far. It's cleared up to Majowski. He brings Clarkson into play. Here come Aberdeen on the counter. And it's McCrory who picks up right hand side. Coming back at him is Harmon. McCrory midway inside the County half, infield for Clarkson, and now back with Pollock, who sends it towards the back post. Majowski brings it down in the chest. Back there went Watson, and he was able to make the interception, and he clears up towards the halfway line. Scales will return it away by Smith, the 16-year-old, still at the heart of that Ross County defence, and Majowski just can't quite get on to the end of another searching Leighton Clarkson pass. But if County are to be successful tonight, Robbie, you'd imagine they have to keep a close eye on Clarkson because he can pick a pass.
Well, he's done it twice already. His first pass, as Willie said, I don't think anybody in the ground saw it. He gave it the eyes, he played it between the two centre-backs brilliantly for McCrory, and again there, he's landed it on the toe of Majowski. He just couldn't quite control it, but I'll tell you what, it's a very open game. Both teams look capable going forward, and they're certainly putting the defenders under pressure.
They are, and it's Aberdeen defenders at the moment under a little bit of pressure, but you wouldn't have known it as McDonald coolly just plays it out to the right hand side for McCrory, much to the delight of the travelling fans. I was with, I would say, several hundred of them in a train a couple of hours back from Inverness to Dingwall, Willie. They were in better fettle than I think they were a couple of months ago, put it that way.
Yeah, it's always an experience when you find yourself locked up in a train cabin. I did it once from Inverness all the way back to Aberdeen after an Aberdeen game up here. It was quite an experience.
Of course, you can't drink on ScotRail trains these days, which had a massive effect on them, obviously. Laidlaw launches it long over the halfway line. Smith returns it as Aberdeen knock it forwards. Pollock matching Murray there, and whistle's gone for an Aberdeen free kick. It was an offside against Murray there. 10 minutes played, it's flown by, no goals yet, but plenty of action as Ross County got slightly the better of it. There'll be a free kick to be taken by McDonald, midway inside his own half. First time I've seen him and Pollock play in the flesh. There's an offside flag up at the other end as well. Ross County free kick. What is it exactly, Willie, that those two, Pollock and McDonald, have brought to Aberdeen?
I think you'll be impressed with them. I've certainly been impressed since I came to the club. Matty Pollock in particular, you know, he's got an aggression about him. Well, you can see the stature of him as well. You know, he's up against Jordan White there, yeah, and he matches him. He's used to the ball too. I mean, he uses the ball extremely well, and he's so determined in the tackle. And you've seen that block where they had the penalty check as well. He identifies the danger, he gets himself into the position, and he manages to get the block.
Forward come Aberdeen down the left hand side. It's Duke up to the edge of the penalty area on the angle, left hand side. Watson just trying to stand him up, keep him out there to the left, which he's managed to do. Forward though comes Hayes, he sends it deep. McCrory trying to make up the ground to get onto it. He's done well, put Harmon under some pressure, but he's not managed to keep it in. It's going to be a throw into Ross County down near their own corner flag on the left hand side. An intriguing start to the game, no goals yet. You see, those two draws with County are Aberdeen's only draws in the league this season, which is something of a curious statistic. County throw in then, way back down near their own corner flag. It'll be taken by Baldwin, who'll look to get as much distance on this as possible. McCrory wins the header, down to Duke, brings it under control and finds Duncan, who tries to release Hayes, but it's picked up by Sims, who plays it forward. Murray can't get onto it though, and knocked back to Ross by Scales, who gets it back from his goalkeeper. And then down the left hand side comes Scales on loan from Celtic into Hayes, back to the centre circle to Clarkson. Majowski linking with Clarkson once more, and now Pollock plays that straight to Harmon. It was misplaced certainly from the defender. Harmon has it, left hand side for County, feeds it forward down the channel. McDonald there before White. White more than capable of testing the best of defences, particularly aerially, but Pollock already and McDonald looking a match for him. Here's Shinnie just outside the Ross County penalty area. It's blocked away by Watson, comes to Hayes, he takes a pot shot, that's blocked as well. Now Clarkson midway inside the County half, looking for a way through, out to Shinnie. Duncan, and back with Hayes, left hand side, comes in off that flank, plays the 1-2, right footed ball through, looking for Majowski. It was Dylan Smith in the way that time, and Jordan White back in a defensive area, gets it to Kennett, deep in his own territory, manages to get it up towards the halfway line. First to it was McDonald ahead of Murray, and now it's McCrory. Watson though tidying up again, the back in after a couple of games out, as Laturi feeds it forward down the left for Murray. Murray left hand side of the penalty, looking to take on McDonald and get the shot off, but it's good defending by McDonald, blocking the shot from Murray, who only had one thing in his mind, John Robertson, to get that shot away, but he was well tracked.
Yeah, initially I thought McDonald was a little bit slack there, because you just need to deepen a couple of yards, because that's the only ball they've got on is the one in behind, but they play it well. Murray gets there. Once he's got him faced up, he's got an opportunity, but to be fair, McDonald did. He recovered well there and got the block away. But again, the threat's there for both sides going forward.
Here's Baldwin, plays it in from the left into the penalty area, headed away by Pollock. Majowski can't keep a hold of it though. Randall takes up possession of the ball. Now it's with Sims, about midway inside the Aberdeen half, thinking about going back the way. Still he has it though, up against Shinnie. Shinnie too strong to allow Sims just to goes past him, so he does have to go back the way. It's played into the box. White gets the knock down. Now it's Harmon inside the penalty area, right for his shot, blocked by the head there that time of McDonald. Aberdeen defenders already putting their bodies on the line. 2 or 3 shots that have come in and they've been in the way as Duke tries to make some headway down the right hand side, out for a throw into Aberdeen. 15 minutes played, Ross County 0, Aberdeen 0.
But it's really good positional sense again from McDonald, and you know, he knows where the danger is. He gets himself in front of the strike, and although the strike is straight at him, obviously it's tried to curl it into the far corner. I think it's a positioning. You know, he's an experienced player. He knows where to be at the right time. You know, John says he handled Murray. I initially thought he did allow Murray too much room, but I always felt that he was under control of the situation, and the block was really good. So, you know, I think you can see in the early exchanges that Pollock and McDonald are forming a really good partnership, along with Scales at the back.
Back it goes from Baldwin to Laidlaw. I'm just trying to work out the county formation actually, John, having given it as a 3-5-2 earlier. It looks like Conor Randall's playing in a sort of central midfield role. Here come Aberdeen though. It's Duke into the penalty, gets a shot off. He scored again. It's Duke for Aberdeen in the blink of an eye. Aberdeen came forward, the ball played down the channel, Duke made the run and he slid it past Ross Laidlaw, who looked slow to go down away to his right. Duke finds the bottom corner. It's Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
Well, it's an easy goal in the end, wasn't it? It's a wonderful through ball again into that channel. 3 defenders, who's picking him up? Duke is running into the gap between them, and once he's in there, he didn't look like missing. He's just steered it into the far corner of the net and given Aberdeen a lead.
I mean, you give him space like that, you give him room to run into, use his pace, and you're not going to catch him. He's just too quick. And if you add Gillane Clarkson passing to, I mean, it's absolutely superb. The way is just, you know, begging to be just drilled into the back of the net. And although you know, it wasn't, you know, a lot of pace behind it, he just picked his spot and just you know, smoothly just strokes it past Laidlaw and goals. A magnificent goal for Aberdeen. 16th for the season in the league now for Duke. It's quite amazing. You know, the quality that that young man has. I think there'll be a lot of clubs looking at him with an eye on taking him to another club, I'm afraid to say, from an Aberdeen point of view, but they will make some funds out of him, I'm sure of that.
You would imagine so. If they are to sell him, it will take a big old transfer fee, you would think. The form he's been on latterly. Just get a look again at that goal. As you say, the Clarkson pass, we identified it early on that he was going to be potentially pivotal, and Ross County didn't learn the lesson and he picked out the pass. Am I being slightly unfair on Ross Laidlaw to think he might have done better, John?
No, I think he's took it early. Willie's picked it there. That's the third pass that the young man's played through Clarkson, and this one is played at such a pace. As a striker, you're like, great, I don't even have to break my stride. The keeper's come out, the far corner's open, and I've steered it into the far side. The pace on the pass makes it so easy for Duke to hit first time, and Laidlaw doesn't have a chance to get his feet sorted to close the angle.
County have a chance though to get a quick equaliser. They've got a free kick over on the right hand side, about 25 yards perhaps from the goal line. It's swung in left footed dangerously. Who's it going to fall for? It's hacked away by McDonald. That could have gone anywhere in that 6-yard box, but McDonald was quickest to react, and County still trail by what is Duke's 18th goal overall, and as Willie says, his 16th in the league, and it's his 6th in the last 5, including both against Kilmarnock in the last game, and the opening goal here this evening. And I don't think I'm speaking too soon when I say I don't think we've seen the last of the goals. It'll be a throw into Ross County to be taken by Baldwin down near the corner flag on the left hand side, hurls it into the penalty area, away by McCrory not once but twice. Good brave defending again, then another Aberdeen head to it. I think it was McDonald that time. Randall takes a pot shot from good 35 yards, maybe further, and a comfortable take for Keller Ross. And we're playing 90 minutes in Dingwall, and it's Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
There's certainly been asked questions at the back, and so far, you know, the Aberdeen defence have been strong. You look at the four, you know, from Ross McCrory through to Pollock, McDonald and Scales. They're all, you know, good strength-wise. They're all got, you know, reasonable pace as well. Good in the air, and they can pass the ball too, and their positional sense is extremely good as well, and they've certainly had to use all of the ammunition that they've got there to make sure that Ross County haven't found the back of the net, because they have had a number of opportunities, but good defending from the Aberdeen back three in particular.
I think just to answer my own question from just prior to that goal, it looks like Randall is playing in a central midfield and Josh Sims actually is more or less playing
it's
that
the
kind
same,
of right wing back.
About to say it's the same formation. It's a 3-5-2, but Sims is going wider, but he's causing a little bit of problem there. But the interesting in terms of tactically, we'll wait to see this finish.
Here's
first.
Kenna, and it's Murray, and it's blocked over the bar, and it's going to be a Ross County corner. And I'll tell you what, Aberdeen are having to defend, because Ross County are still looking sharp and bright up front, so it's good defending so far from Aberdeen.
It's a great move there, and Simon Murray is about to pull the trigger, but Willie, he's called it. Scales this time, no chance. He's not getting a shot away or blocked it, and he manages to block it enough to put it over the bar. But I'm saying that where Aberdeen are causing Ross County problems is when they get the ball, Duncan's immediately joining the front two, and Letari's letting them play behind there, and therefore Harmon's dropping back to help out the back, which means McCrory's getting the freedom of the street down here on the right hand side. But you're right, Aberdeen are, you know, they're having to put their bodies on the line here. That's another crucial block.
Will be a corner, right hand side, taken short by Harmon to Sims. Sims more or less on the goal line, stopped in his tracks though by Clarkson, has to battle away to keep the ball. Harmon helping him out, but Clarkson's robbed them, and here come Aberdeen on the counter. Played forward for Duncan, he's beaten to it though by Randall. He plays it back down towards that corner flag. Scales is there first, he'll clear it. It's not very good clearance, it's picked up by Sims. Right hand side for County, midway inside the Aberdeen half. Back comes Duke, of all people, to block the cross, and out for a throw-in over on the far side. But we really have a game on our hands here.
Well, we thought it was going to be a test for Aberdeen before the game. It certainly has turned out that way. Yeah, they've got their noses in front, but you know, for most of the game so far, they've had to defend, and you know, thankfully they've defended well from, you know, an Aberdeen point of view, because you know, the first half of the season, I can guarantee you that Ross County would be back in level terms at the very least with the defenders that they had at that time. These defenders coming in are proper defenders.
High praise from Willie Miller for that Aberdeen backline. 1-0 the visitors lead with a quarter of the game gone. Barry Robson and his assistant Steve Agnew down there in the small technical area, you'd have to say, in Dingwall. They're out. Barry Robson's not entirely happy with the way things are going despite the 1-goal advantage, and well, you'll know exactly why if you've been listening, because Aberdeen have been on the back foot for large chunks of the game, but they do lead by a 1-0, and that is in large part down to some very good defending and of course the clinical finishing of Duke. Here come County again though. Can Sims keep it in? He has managed to do so. He gets it into the penalty area, it's cleared away, but only as far as Watson, who helps it back into the box. This time it's Pollock getting the header clear as Baldwin tries to return it back to the edge of the box. Scales heads clear, and Aberdeen pick up through Duke about 10 yards inside his own half, tries to find Majowski or Clarkson, but it reaches neither, and Watson just plays it forward and finds Sims once more on the right hand side. Now Murray also running that right channel, Scales with him. Murray's just run it out of play. It'll be an Aberdeen throw-in, 23.5 on the clock, and it's the Duke goal that separates the sides, but that doesn't tell half the story.
No, I think if you look at the passages of play, most of it's been heading towards Aberdeen box, but they've had to make 3 or 4 very, very good blocks. We'll have to say that the goalkeeper, Kel Roos, has not been tested, but that's down to great defending from the Aberdeen players. Aberdeen have been up the park once, they've banged it in the back of the net, and that's a team that probably shows you the confidence they've got at the moment, where these defenders are saying, hey, we'll do the hard work back here. When the chances come, you put them away.
Yeah, Aberdeen have been a different animal under Barry Robson, as I mentioned to him pre-match. They're on their longest league run. I think I said to him since 16-17. I didn't have my notes with me when I was doing that interview, and my colleague Liam McLeod was kind enough to point out to me that it was since 15-16, which is actually what I've got written down. But anyway, I'm sure Barry Robson doesn't mind. The bottom line is, Willie, they're on a terrific run.
They are, yeah, and you know, there's no doubt he's turned their fortunes round. I think it's just looking at the game in more simple terms. You know, my opinion is what he's done. You know, he isn't asking his back three to play the ball out. He isn't asking them to take it in deep line areas. He's asking them to defend, and you know, they're raising to that challenge. There's no doubt about that. In every game that I've watched them, they've been. I thought that was a good tackle. He's going to get booked for it.
Yeah, I thought he maybe came through the back of Jordan White there, Willie, actually, but
yeah, that's a good tackle. What's wrong with that?
It's an old-fashioned tackle.
That is an old-fashioned tackle.
Ewan Anderson does look like he's going to his pocket for the cards for Johnny Hayes as Jordan White stays down, which does allow me, Willie, to play our occasional game that I play at Aberdeen games with you. Johnny Hayes, 24th now in the all-time Aberdeen appearances, 9 behind. Who's the next player he's going to overtake? I will say he was certainly you would have played with him in the, I think, latter part of your time as a player.
Oh, if only I had Richard here.
Richard will probably know.
Oh, he'll know. He'll be shouting it down my lug.
How many games has Johnny Hayes played?
Johnny Hayes is now on 3-2-3.
McMaster?
No. Who?
McMaster?
No, I think he's past him actually already. Yeah, I've got him written down as someone else. No, Brian Grant.
Brian Grant.
He's the next one that Johnny Hayes will pass. I'm always indebted to, I think it's the AFC Heritage website that keep a close track on all the appearances, and I always check it when I'm doing an Aberdeen game.
I'll bring a list the next time we're working together.
You do that. Here's a Ross County free kick as a result of that foul on Jordan White, knocked into the box off the head of Liam Scales, and it will be another Ross County corner. They're racking them up. They need to turn one of them into a goal though. And asking you that question, I wasn't paying attention to see if Ewan Anderson ever did flash the yellow card. Yes, he did, I'm told by the reliable sound engineer Colin Stephen. So first yellow card of the game goes to Johnny Hayes as Simon Murray prepares to take the corner kick from the left hand side. It's a near post ball, semi-cleared. Shinnie helps it on up to the halfway line. Randall doesn't take a good first touch. He's closed down by Duncan, chases him all the way up the park. Back to Laidlaw it goes, and he clears after first touch, and White, who's back to his feet and back involved. But Aberdeen have it back. Kelly-Roos in possession. 27 minutes played. Aberdeen leading by a goal to nil. Duke the scorer after 17 minutes. Ross County well in the game. Malky Mackay, you would imagine, other than the scoreline, will be relatively pleased with the performance of his side thus far.
I think he'll be more than happy, won't he, John? I think, you know, they've started. Yeah, obviously, as a manager, you're 1-0 down, so you're not going to be delighted with that. But in terms of his team performance, I think, you know, they've started extremely energetic. Yeah.
It's exactly. I've heard Barry Robson say it on 3 or 4 occasions now, Willie, that you can't be a good attacking team to a good defensive team, and he said it again pre-match, and that's exactly what we're seeing tonight. We're seeing that first and foremost, let's make sure we defend well, make sure we have good habits with track runners. If the ball blocks in the box, get yourself in front of it, nearest man, go and engage the ball and block it. And what that's allowed them to do is play a wee bit freedom with the lad Duncan and Miofsky and Duke. Clarkson on the ball, we've saw it twice, he's nearly got it in. Third time lucky, it's a wonderful pass. So the strong foundations at the back that he's preaching is showing off, because it's allowing the guys to go at the park and put them ahead. Ross McCrory took a knock there, but he's back on his feet, hobbling slightly as Jack Baldwin takes the throw in back to Laidlaw. Just outside his penalty area, launches it long, looking for White to go and challenge, but he's beaten to it
by McDonald. Then Watson repels that one up towards Majowski, who's been fairly quiet in the game, which tells you something about the area in which the game has been played largely, which is Aberdeen's defensive third. But and there's another pass going astray from Shinnie to Hayes, out of play on the far side almost at the half-hour mark. But it is Aberdeen who crucially lead, and as things stand, albeit a long way to go, will be moving 5 points clear of Hearts. And if you'd said that around New Year's time, maybe even into February, you'd have been laughed out of town.
Even I wouldn't have got away with that.
No, especially you. Throw into Ross County over on the far side, knocked on by Randall for Sims on the touchline. Looks for Simon Murray again. It's not behind, this time by Clarkson. And Ross County really got to start making these corner kicks tell.
Well, they've had so much of the ball in the Aberdeen box. They've had so many set pieces, corners, free kicks as well. And they've had opportunities, but that red line at the back is standing very firm.
Sure is. It's in white tonight as Harmon sends the ball into the 6-yard box. It's Shinnie that time who wins the header, helped on by Duncan. And this is going to be dangerous. Majowski picks up, he could be through. He was just held up slightly by Randall, and Sims gets back to slide in and knock it back to Laidlaw. Just for a second it looked like Aberdeen were in 2-on-1, but Majowski just couldn't get away cleanly from Randall. He probably did just enough. Randall used his experience and professionalism not to foul him, John, but to do just enough to put him off.
Yeah, it's actually good defending in the end, but terrible to begin with. He smashes it against Baldwin, it breaks for Majowski, and where he's clever is he knows that if he stands out the way that Majowski's clean through, so he stands in Majowski's line and makes him have to run round him. And it's just that extra couple of yards buys enough time for Josh Sims to get back. I was wondering if Majowski could have played Duke, because with Duke's face, they ain't catching him.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, was it on? It's difficult for us to see if there was enough space there, but for me, it's just the outside of the right foot. It's in front of Duke and allowed Duke to just run in and goal, and likelihood is he's going to find the back of the net with that. But Ross County will need to watch leaving himself a spare like that at the back with that much room for these two to take advantage of.
Sims looked like he was shoved in the back there by Duke, but the referee gives nothing that time. Duke has it down near his own corner flag. He's shoved in the back by Sims, who's furious that he didn't get the initial decision, and I have a certain amount of sympathy with him, but it's gone Aberdeen's way.
Yeah, I'd have to say the same. It looked more of a foul on Sims by Duke than on Duke by Sims. But listen, again, credit where credit's due. There's your centre forward, there's the man that's got you the goal. He's back 5 yards from his own corner flag defended there, and that's the Aberdeen. This the new Aberdeen under Barry Robson there. They're all working together, they're all prepared to put a shift in. The defenders are doing all the blocks. I've said that. The midfield men, Shinnie and Clarkson, have been getting on the ball and energetic, and that's your front men back there defending. So it's all looking exactly as it was pre-match. The plan, tough to break down, clinical on the break, and a hard-working team out in the park.
Certainly are working hard. They're absolutely having to, and they're doing so again because Murray is coming forward. Did that come off him last? No, it didn't come off Johnny Hayes, I think it is, across there doing the defending. Anyway, it's a corner kick to Ross County. I've certainly lost track, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're into double figures.
Johnny Hayes will need to watch what he's doing though there. He's went with that kind of a scissor block, just after getting the yellow card too. It's a dangerous kind of a looking tackle that he's put in, got away with it.
Harmon's corner kick, near post ball again. It's an Aberdeen head that gets to it first. Matty Pollock at the near post that time. Ross County trying to keep the pressure on. Harmon won't keep that one in. It's out for a throw-in over on the far side to Aberdeen. A couple of players just on their haunches inside the penalty area after that aerial tussle. Looks like Pollock and White, neither of whom are likely to be giving any quarter in this battle.
I think they'll know that they have been in a game when the final whistle goes. Particularly the Aberdeen back three. Pollock again, really strong there with a header. He's a big physical specimen there, but he reads the game extremely well, and he gets himself into very decent positions and areas to defend. What was a difficult one to defend, but Ross County are, they have had the bulk of the game. It's been simple football. It's been football that's been testing Aberdeen.
Here come Ross County again inside the Aberdeen penalty area, but it's Clarkson with the clearance. Baldwin gets it back into the Aberdeen defensive third. Scales with his head to at the edge of the penalty area. Harmon knocks it back for Aberdeen to defend. Hayes will just try and see that out. Murray's there trying to prevent the goal kick, but he can't do so. With 34 minutes on the clock, it's still Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
Yeah, County are knocking on the door, as I said, and you know, they're winning a fair amount of first headers, but whenever it drops in the box, the willingness and the desire of the Aberdeen players to get to it first is incredible tonight, and that's what's edging them the game so far. As I say, they've not been up the County end too often, but they've took their chance when it's come. I'm looking at the corners. Can County do something different? That Aberdeen have got to be back. They can certainly do a 2v1 wide. If they do it right, they can work it to the edge of the box as well, because I think Aberdeen they're defending the corners not comfortably but solidly.
Goal kick taken. Baldwin wins it ahead of Majowski. Hayes on the halfway line knocks it forward. Majowski gets a flick on. Duke acknowledges the attempt to link up with him but couldn't get onto it, and it's back with Laidlaw. 10 minutes until the interval. Aberdeen have the 1-goal advantage. Goal scored by Duke after 17. Here's Murray looking to try and cause problems at the other end. Kennett, White, now Sims, edge of the penalty area, out to Murray on the right angle, tries to make room for the shot, but it's well taken by Kellerose. His near post, gets down well to gather it in. No chance that was going to slip out of his grasp, and it's still 1-0.
It's the first. I think that's the first time he's been tested, despite the amount of pressure County have had, the amount of times the ball's been in the box and touches in the opposition box. That's the first save he's had to make, but very solidly behind it.
Smith gets it clear for County. Shinney tries to find Clarkson. He was fouled by Kenna, who just got wrong side, tried to make the challenge, and Ewan Anderson wasn't happy with it. Malky Mackay's not happy with the decision, but it will be a free kick to Aberdeen, about 15 yards inside the County half, and a chance for them to try and give their defence a breather for a start, albeit they've all gone up for the set piece, but at least they're trying to create something rather than trying to keep it out at the other end, as they have been for most of the opening exchanges.
Aberdeen are not entirely cool, because Barry Robson's just pulled Steve Agnew and Liam Fox there and had a good chat for a good minute there to discuss what's happening, because I don't think he'll be entirely pleased with the...
He sends in the free kick. Who's that got to break to in this penalty area? It was Duncan, I think, who tried to stab it goalwards.
Yeah, I think the flag's up.
Yeah, flag is up, Willie.
It was Duncan though. I don't think he got enough on it. I think he just threw the leg out and got the little toe poke. It was maybe blocked by a Ross County defender. I must admit, I thought there was a free kick as well. It looked to be a bit of barge in the box there, but it was a good delivery into the box, one that's really difficult to defend.
It will be a free kick, but I think that's for an offside rather than an infringement as such, as Laidlaw knocks it long. Pollock wins the header again, but it breaks to Simon Murray midway inside the Aberdeen half. Sims tries to find Murray again. It's not a good pass though, and Hayes whacks it clear. Majowski wins the flick on, but Duke's away back in a much more defensive position at the moment. No chance that he was going to latch on to it, and Ross County clear. McDonald returns it to the halfway line. Watson there ahead of Duke, and then it's picked up on the right hand side by Sims. 7.5 minutes left in the first period. Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1. Ross County have lost their last couple at home against Celtic and Motherwell, having been 3 unbeaten prior to that. As I was saying to Malky Mackay pre-match, they haven't been able to put back-to-back victories together in the league on more than one occasion. They're looking to do it tonight. At the moment they're trailing. Here they come, looking for a leveller at least. It's Harmon left hand side, low ball in, Murray can't get there, and it's turned over his own crossbar by Liam Scales. Didn't know a whole lot about it, but he was able to defend the situation once again. Another County corner.
Yeah, well, that's the first time McCrory's been caught out of possession. He was up the park and it left Harmon free against Pollock. The centre half had to come out and he's left a gap in there, and Simon Murray's ghosted into the area. He's got a little flick in it, but there was his fellow defender right behind him, McDonald, to clear it.
Simon Murray lining up the corner from the left hand side. Harmon is there for the short one should he want, but Simon Murray whips it into the back post. Kellerose with a good take, not under a massive amount of pressure, has to be said, but he clutched it with the two hands and ensured there was no joy to be had for the County forwards, and he bowls it out over arm to Hayes down the left-hand side. He's looking for Duncan. He's asking a lot of him. Laturi across there to just knock it out of play. And it will be an Aberdeen throw-in coming together there between Laturi and Duncan, which Ewan Anderson didn't like. But it was a throw-in, quickly taken. Back to Scales it goes, about 10 yards inside county territory. Malcolm Mackay looking for his players to hold a higher line as it's picked up by McDonald out to the right-hand side. McCrory nods it down. Smith can't get there before Majowski. Majowski's done well there. Looks to head it back into McCrory's pass, but Kenna nips in and moves away from Clarkson. McCrory though back to win it from Kenna. Moves forward, finds Duncan, right-hand side for Aberdeen. Coming up towards the edge of the penalty area. Back the way to Clarkson, and off the right-hand side he comes. Shinnie is the option just outside the penalty area. Duncan was just caught off balance there for Shinnie's pass, but finds him anyway. Randall coming in through the back of Shinnie. It's just going to be a throw into Aberdeen on the right-hand side as they come forward. 5 minutes until the break. 1-0 to Aberdeen, looking for a 7th win in 9 under Barry Robson. And the defeats came, well, one was against Celtic and the other was in his first game when McCrory was sent off in the opening couple of minutes against St Mirren. Here's Clarkson, right-hand side, low ball, and it's another good-looking ball, but Baldwin is first to it at the near post, and it's out for a throw-in on the right-hand side once more to Aberdeen, down near the corner flag.
I think it's a little bit of respite for Aberdeen, isn't it? Really, you know, I think when you've been under that much pressure for the majority of the first half, then you know, you need that pressure to be, you need some kind of a valve to be released, and they'll be enjoying the fact that they're actually in the Ross County half, because they haven't spent much time in it tonight, that's for sure.
Duke can't quite bring that under control. Watson knocks it back to his goalkeeper inside his 6-yard box. Laidlaw takes a touch and then plays it up towards the halfway line. Always looking for White with these long high balls, but it doesn't reach him. It's headed back to Laidlaw, and this time he picks it up. 4 minutes left in the opening half, plus any added on time, as Laidlaw this time launches it again, looking for White. Scales wins the aerial battle. Watson nods it down and then heads it again down the right-hand side he goes. It was backtracking and barges him in the back, and it'll be a free kick this time to Ross County from that right-hand side.
It's incredible because the assistant referee standing 5 yards from, we can see for here it's a clear push, and he doesn't give it, and it's actually left up to Ewan Anderson to, I know they're mic'd up and he may well say it's a foul, but dearie me, just get your flag up.
Well, it's to let the supporters as much as anything see, as well as us, that you're on top of the game. If you're just saying it in the microphone, it's no use to anyone, really, is it? So it's a free kick right-hand side for Ross County, about 25 yards from the goal line. They've had a lot of set pieces, a lot of corners. They haven't really been able to test Kelleros as a result of them. Can they change that here with 3 minutes left in the first period? It's going to be Harmon who sends it in near post. It's not a good delivery, and it's easily headed away by Johnny Hayes. Harmon collects once more, knocks it back to the halfway line, and Randall not taking any chances with Ryan Duncan breathing down his neck, plays it back to Laidlaw, and it's another opportunity passed up for Ross County to make something of the set play. Randall was just caught slightly late there by Shinnie, and it'll be a free kick to Ross County about 10 yards inside their own half as the closing minutes of the first half tick down. Ewan Anderson wants it taken from the correct spot, which is not where Kenna initially took it from, and then Baldwin just plays it short to Laturi. Back with Baldwin, but 10 yards inside his own half. Launches it to the left-hand side. White again, the target. McCrory up there along with him, and then Pollock heads it back to McCrory. McCrory just bursts away from the players. It's good, forceful play by McCrory, who eventually loses out in the third challenge. Murray will give chase to the ball. It's played down the left flank, but he won't catch it. It's an Aberdeen throw-in. 2 minutes left in the opening period. Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
It's probably easier said than achieved, but you know, Aberdeen have got to try and get a grip of the ball in the midfield. You know, I do think that they're missing Ramadani. Ryan Duncan, a good young prospect, but he doesn't give you the same energy, the same control, the same experience that Ramadani does. And I know it's a difficult game, because the ball is going from one end to the other. It's a very direct play from Ross County.
Duke giving chase to a through ball. Laidlaw was on his toes and comes well out of his box to clear, because I think Keith Watson was going to struggle in that foot race with Duke. Breaks to Sims in the middle of the park. Poor ball forward though, easily cut out by Scales. Out to Hayes on the left hand side. Scales once more, Clarkson for Hayes. Still midway inside his own half. Hayes forced back the way, and then just clips a right footed ball over the top of Jordan White for Pollock. Pollock will come forward up towards the halfway line. Plays a short ball into Clarkson on the halfway line. Plays a little 1-2 with Majowski. It's good football from Aberdeen. Now it's McCrory coming forward. Shinnie about 30 yards from goal. Plays it out to Hayes. Allowed to advance. He'll take the shot on the left foot, and it clips Ross County player. I think it was Keith Watson who was coming out to meet it. Off him, loops over the crossbar. Aberdeen corner in the final minute of the 45.
And that man again, he's at the heart of everything Aberdeen do. Lewis Clarkson there again, little give it. It reminds me very much of Billy Gilmore. It's the first time I've really seen him. Lovely little passages he played, gets set passes, moves. Wonderful feet again, sees the passes, and the free John Hayter looked a decent strike, to be fair, but it's a strange one because I think Barry Robson will be happy with the scoreline but disappointed with the performance, whereas Malcolm Mackay will be absolutely delighted with the performance but upset that they're 1-0 down.
3 minutes to be added on. We're just ticking into that now as Aberdeen prepared to take the corner kick from the left hand side, looking to lengthen their lead prior to half time. Bodies hitting the deck all over the place inside that penalty area, and Ewan Anderson reckons that is a free kick to the home side, who are defending their own box there. And it's still 1-0 then into injury time. You can hear the Dons fans who, like their manager, enjoying the scoreline, maybe not so much the fact that they've been under fairly significant pressure in the first period, but they've withstood it well. A lot of good defending. Ross County perhaps not taking full advantage, you'd have to say, of their opportunities as Duncan feeds it forwards for McCrory. Just forced a little wide, but he will gather a few yards away from the goal line. Comes back in field, left-footed ball into the box. Duncan couldn't make anything of it. Breaks the way of Sims, who'll try and come forward for County as they look to try and go in level, but Duke working back the way again, and from the halfway line plays it all the way back to his goalkeeper Kelly Ross, who takes one touch and then hammers it back upfield. Smith underneath it for Ross County, heads it to the halfway line. Kennett forwards, rather aimless one, and that will drift out for a throw-in on the far side for Aberdeen, who will, it seems, take a 1-goal advantage in at the interval, which is almost upon us. It's been a really intriguing first period. As John says, Ross County probably slightly the better of the two sides, but haven't managed to get Kelly Ross into any meaningful action. You'd have to say Simon Murray had a shot saved pretty comfortably, and beyond that, it's a fairly quiet evening in Dingwall so far as Duke picks up, plays it off Ewan Anderson. Well, why has he stopped play there? When Duke picks up the ball, surely he can just play that on.
Yeah, he should have. He knows that himself, because there was no disadvantage to Duke. It was actually quite a good 1-2 with the referee, and it set him up quite nicely for an attack. But I don't know the rules. If it touches him, has he got to stop it?
I don't think so. I think if it breaks back to the team who are in possession, that he's allowed to play on. I stand corrected if I'm wrong there. Richard again will pull me up at half time if I've got that one wrong. But I think Ewan Anderson could just have let that flow with Duke picking up possession. Anyway, Aberdeen on the attack in the closing seconds of this first period. Shinnie knocks it back to Hayes, almost on the halfway line. Out to Duke it goes. It just drifted out to the left, as he likes to do, taking Keith Watson with him. No hurry to move it forward, but he has drifted past Watson and now plays in Duncan. Poor first touch from Duncan. He could have been in there with a better first touch, but he let it get away from him. Ross County made the clearance, and Ewan Anderson blows the half-time whistle. It is a curious first half in which Ross County have dominated a lot of the ball, a lot of the attacking play, without really forcing Kelly Ross into a save of any great note. And of course it was that man Duke who has made them pay for their profligacy by racing away onto a pinpoint Leighton Clarkson pass, you'd have to say. Not his first of the game and not his last either. Fed it down the channel, and Duke was racing through and took the shot on early. Ross Laidlaw wasn't able to get down in time, and it found the far corner. Duke's 18th goal of the season has Aberdeen in command at half-time. Still 45 to play here in Dingwall. At half-time, it's Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
This is Sports Sound.
BBC Radio Scotland.
Join Craig Levine and me, Amy Irons, for the podcast that guides you through the cutthroat world of football management.
Sacked in the Morning is back with brand new episodes.
Did you take it a bit easier after your health scare?
That's a good question.
You might have interviewed me.
We've got some top guests lined up. Davy Martindale.
I keep telling the media the boy that does the recruitment at Livingston's brilliant. It looks like Donny's me here.
Welcome to Sacked in the Morning, Lou McCarry.
I used to put the kit out with the Lisbon Lions at the start of my career. Jock was meticulous about everything. When I saw the captain, Billy McNeil, terrified of him, I learned, don't go near him.
Sacked in the Morning. Listen now on BBC Sounds.
Yeah, that'll be a great listen. There's lots of great listening over the course of the weekend here on BBC Radio Scotland. So Sports Sound tomorrow from midday. There is the option of Off the Ball between midday and 2. The various frequencies there, various ways of listening that you can choose. But Sports Sound, the main football programme, 12 till 7 will kick off with a lunchtime match between Hibernian and Heart of Midlothian. Then the 3 o'clock games, Livingston, St Johnstone, Motherwell against Dundee United, and Rangers against St Mirren, and you'll be able to see the highlights of those 4 matches and the game that we're currently bringing you live. All the highlights on Sports Scene tomorrow night, 7:30 on the BBC Scotland channel. Sunday Sports Sound tomorrow, 11:45 a.m. until 3 o'clock. Kilmarnock against Celtic, followed by Off the Ball, and then the second helping this weekend of Sports Scene, 7:15 on Sunday evening, again on the Scotland channel. So we're right across the course of the weekend. You will be well covered for all your football needs. Lots to come tomorrow, still plenty to come this evening. Let's go to the other game. It's the one in the Championship. It's a big one in terms of top and bottom. It's Queen's Park against Hamilton. News of the first half comes from Brian McLaughlin.
Yeah, heavy rain falling here at Ochilview, Richard. Queen's Park 0, Hamilton 0 after a pretty gutsy 45 minutes from both sides. Neither goalkeeper, though, really tested in that opening period. Queens had the better of the game early on. Connor Shields with a thundering drive from 25 yards out, just wide of Ryan Fulton's right-hand post. And then a corner by Thomas in from the right-hand side. The ball hit Connor Shields and it was trundling towards a goal before Regan Tumulty cleared the ball away. Hamilton, though, came into it late on, lost it across. Ashley Seal with a header just wide, and then the best move of the game from Hamilton, Connor Smith down the right hand side, cross into the box, and then Queen's defender Lee Kildare with the block just as Ashley Seal was about to pounce and hammer the ball into what would have been an empty net from around 5 yards out. So even Stevens here, Richard, at Ochilview. Queen's Park 0, Hamilton 0.
Brian, thank you very much indeed. The other games in the Championship tomorrow: Cove Rangers against Calais Thistle, Dundee against Morton, it's Partick Thistle, Ayr United, and Raith Rovers against Arbroath. In League One, Clyde and Peterhead, of course, involved in this two-way battle. The pair meet next weekend at Balmoor in what could well be a decisive match. Clyde at home to FC Edinburgh, Peterhead are away to Montrose. It's Dunfermline at the top of the table. It's the romping to the title, 11 points clear, 4 games to go. They're at home to Queen of the South. Falkirk in second place are at home to third place Airdronians. It's Kelty Hearts against Alloa in the other game. And Alloa, the other team in the playoff places right now. In terms of League 2, Stirling Albion within touching distance of clinching the league. They're away to Stirlingmuir. Dumbarton are away to Bonnyrigg Rose, and Bonnyrigg, one of 3 teams at the bottom, separated by just 2 points. Elgin City, one of those, they're at home to Forfar Athletic. Albion Rovers, the other side, they're away to Annan Athletic. That looks like going all the way to the wire as well. And the other game in the League 2 that I didn't mention was East Fife against Stranraer. So plenty to come tomorrow. We'll get reflections from Willie and John in the first half in Dingwall. Let's still get to the rugby. It is, of course, at Scotstoun. It's a big one for Glasgow as they move towards what has been a very successful, satisfying campaign so far in the URC. Let's get Andy Burke for the game against Scarlets.
Glasgow Warriors 5, Scarlets 6. Second half is just underway, Richard. It had been a beautiful sunny day in Glasgow today. That was until the moment this match kicked off and the heavens opened and the rain has been lashing down, and it unfortunately has had a really detrimental effect to the spectacle that is this match. Both sides really struggling to mount anything meaningful in attack, and the Scarlets have just managed those conditions that little bit better. Dan Jones banged over a couple of penalties for the Welsh side to give them a 6-0 lead, and Warriors were struggling to find a response until Sione Vailanu peeled off the back of a line-out maul and blasted through a couple of tackles to score the only try of the first half. It's not a classic match by any stretch of the imagination, and if Glasgow are to keep this winning run going and secure that home semi-final in the URC, that home quarter-final rather, then they're going to have to do it the hard way. Early in the second half here at Scotstoun, Glasgow 5, Scarlet 6.
Rain in Glasgow, rain in Stennismuir as well, where Queen's Park are playing Hamilton. No such issues, I don't think. In Dingwall, where Aberdeen lead by a single goal. And he's done it again, Willie. Luis Lopez, or Duke.
I did tell you, Richard, I've been telling you all season, maybe after his first couple of games, that he's got something special. He has good pace, he's got a calmness in front of goal as well. He can score special goals. I mean, I must say, the Clarkson pass was wonderful as well. I
was going to say, Willie, he's also got Leighton Clarkson, whose range of passing is absolutely outstanding at times.
It's brilliant, you know. The one that he's just dinked down the line for McCrory early on too could have easily ended up in the back of the net if the cross had been a little bit better. But Duke is special, and we're seeing the other side of his game as well. You know, the fact that he's willing to work back and help defensively. He's been down in that left back area deeper than Johnny Hayes at times as well, putting in challenges and you know, using his physique and his pace to help the defence out. But he's a special talent. You know, it's been great to watch him this season, and I must say, particularly at home, but tonight I've enjoyed watching him away from home. And you know, yet another goal. You know, 16 in the league. What is it, 18?
18 all told, 16 in the league, yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. What age is he? 21, 22, something like that? You know, hasn't played a lot of top quality games, I don't believe either. So he's came to Pittodrie. He's been a find. The crowd love him. He's banging in the goals, and he is a difference, because it's been a really tough night for Aberdeen. It's been a very physical night for their defenders, but I must say that defensively they've been rock solid at the back. You know, what we've seen in recent games is here for everybody to see tonight, because Ross County have put them under pressure. It's been simple football, no airs or graces, just get it forward. You know, sometimes it's high, sometimes it's over the top. And I think Ross County, they maybe need a little bit more quality, but the quality of defending from Aberdeen has been absolutely at top level, and that's why the scoreline is 1-0 at half time, because there's been a number of kind of a little half chances that Ross County have had that, you know, apart from players, defenders, Aberdeen defenders getting themselves, being brave first and foremost, but getting themselves in the right position to make the block, then it could have easily ended up in the back of the net. And saying that, as John says, Roos hasn't been tested much. Simon Murray, tight angle shot, has been the only shot that he's had to save. One cross as well, he came out. So it's all about the Aberdeen defence. They are solid, they're looking really solid. But I think that Barry will be disappointed, and I think he'll be looking for a little bit more control in that midfield area, you know, just to give the defence a bit of a respite, maybe playing some shorter passes rather than, you know, too many longer passes. But other than that, he'll be delighted with the scoreline. But I think Malky Mackay can be happy with the performance as well. So it's been a really entertaining game of football so far.
Yeah, there was a point, John, where they flashed up the stats late in the half, and it was 2 shots, 1 on target for Aberdeen, and 8 shots for Kennedy. But I think most of theirs were kind of almost blocked at source, which is an indication of how Aberdeen were defending at times in that first half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been there for all to see. I mean, listening tonight, I think Alistair's called it perfectly. He's described to everybody how it's been. It's the amount of touches in the Aberdeen box compared to the amount in the county box has been hugely in favour of the home side. But when the ball's been played in, you know, we heard Barry Robson again. I said it, I picked up on it myself, was that, you know, you can't be a good attacking team to a good defensive team. his team are showing that tonight. You know, the three central defenders, Scales, McDonald and Pollock are there solid. McCrory's backing them up, Hayes is backing them up, Shinnie and Clarkson in front. Clarkson, you think, with a ability got the ball, maybe that's the side of the game he's maybe not so good at. No, not at all. He's in there getting tackles in. Duncan's dropping back in, Duke's been back. Miovski's been the one that's been hanging up front. He doesn't look like he wants to defend, but he's not having to because the rest of the lads are doing it. But I've got to say, all the quality touches have come from Clarkson. Hugely impressive tonight. I said late on, he reminded me in style of Billy Gilmore, the way he passes, moves and keeps it on the move. He's always looking for the pass, and as I said, he's had 3 or 4 wonderful passes, and Aberdeen have, they've got 1 goal for them and could have had maybe at least another. But County are not out of this game. As I said, in terms of performance, I think Malky will be very, very happy with what he's got in the first half. Probably need a little bit more quality with the final third. The amount of times Jordan White has drifted on to Pollock and Sims has been the ball, and he's saying the old-fashioned one, throw it up there, just let it hang up and I'll go and attack on the back of this defender. But they're trying to whip it in and get the perfect Hollywood cross in. Just throw it up there. The old ones, the Sandy Clarkson, this one would love to be bearing down on top of Willie Miller, and Willie Miller thinking, oh no, I know what's coming here. But they don't do that, and I'm looking at their bench. It doesn't look great. Maybe Jan Danda with a wee bit of quality could maybe get the ball and find a pass, because right now it's predictable. They're going down the flanks, they're crossing it in, Aberdeen are heading it out. If it's dropped shorter and it's deflected to someone, Aberdeen are blocking it. And by the way, although they've only been in the county box on a couple of occasions, they do look a real threat at the break. Miovski and particularly Duke and Duncan, when they break very quickly indeed.
Yeah, and that is a big benefit, of course, if you're able to do that. Just in terms of the defending, John's saying there, all very straightforward, which is fine, Willie, as long as you've got 2 very straightforward central defenders, in particular in Pollock and McDonald. Scales obviously there as well, but those 2, it seems to be just love to defend, as you touched on earlier. And I mean, is it the case that they, as much as anything, are making those balls look very straightforward, very easy, because they're well positioned, they are getting ahead of the attackers and clearing?
Without doubt, Richard. I mean, it's a difficult evening if you're not strong in defence, you're not strong in character, you're not willing to, go and mix it with the amount of aerial balls that's been thrown at them, with the amount of strikes that Ross County have had that needed to be blocked. They're just defenders that like defending. They've got a smile on their face when they put a tackle in. They know that they're doing their job. It's quite refreshing to see, actually, because you don't, at the very top level, do you see much of that? Maybe, certainly not down south, but maybe up here every now and again you see it. But I think I haven't witnessed it. Certainly the first half of the season I didn't see it in the Aberdeen team, but I've certainly seen it since these 2 have come in. And it's brilliant to watch. The
key for me, Richard, and Willie's will know this much better than I do, their starting positions are brilliant. Whenever the ball's in an area, their first thought is, where's the danger? Right, I'll get myself into this area, and it's like dominoes. One goes in and then the one's, I'll cover him, next one I'll cover him, next one I'll cover him. So their starting positions prior to the cross are absolutely fantastic, and they're like magnets. The balls are a magnet to these centre halves. They're just heading it away, and the ball's getting dropped in there. I'll go and tackle it, and it is Willie's right. It's an art. It's an art that's maybe not looked at often enough at times, because people just want to see the wonderful goals and the brilliant skills and the wonder strikes and stuff. But these 3 guys in particular at the back, ably backed up by their 2 wing backs, have been immense for Aberdeen tonight. And by the way, they've had to be.
County might well have had a penalty early on. 7th minute, the shots coming in from Harman. One of those, I guess some weeks VAR might have given it. The referee might have given it. McDonald sliding in. It certainly catches his arm, but it's deemed obviously to be in a natural position. Luis Lopez with a goal. I think I heard in the background there, as predicted by John Robertson, Jan Danda on for the second half, which you're about to hear live. It's Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1, live on Sports Sound with John Robertson, Willie Miller and Al Lamont.
Yep, back underway, Rich, thanks for that. And Noah Kenna is the player to be replaced by Jan Dander, so that's certainly an attacking change at half-time from Malky Mackay, who probably does just need that little bit more guile in the middle of the park to try and really exploit the possession that they've had. The final pass perhaps has been wanting for Ross County, and Jan Danda certainly has the ability to deliver. As Aberdeen will come forward first of all in the second period. It's cleared away initially, only as far as Clarkson, who's probably the pick of the players on show in the first half. And Aberdeen in a decent position. Shinnie can't find the crucial pass, but it does break back to him. Now he gets the Hayes. Majowski though can't hold it up, and Danda gets the loose ball, and it's hammer cleared by Harmon. Hayes in the way though, he heads it back in towards the county penalty area. Again it's defended, and then Randall just hammers it forward, and then nodded down by McDonald. Randall once more gets forward, but White can't keep a hold of it, and Aberdeen pick up once more. So that's the only change at half-time. Danda for Kennett, and the guys will just keep an eye on how that has affected, if at all, the setup for Ross County. And I think I should mention that I noticed at half-time, nice to see our sometime colleague James McFadden up here working, Willie, would you believe, on his 40th birthday. Now he didn't want anyone to, he wanted to keep it on a down low. It was his 40th birthday today, so don't tell anyone, but it just underlines his work ethic.
Okay, we'll just keep it between us two then. Yeah, it is. It's great to see him up here, even although he's working with another outlet. It's always good to see James, of course, and listen to him as well.
Ross County coming forward. Laturi gets his head to the ball. Once more Laturi forwards. John White can't make it stick though. George Harmon then turns it forward down the left hand side for County. Pollock in the way. Again, Aberdeen will want to spend more time in the county half, no doubt, in this second half, although if it goes the same way and they get the one goal in the half, they'll be just as happy, I would imagine, as Majowski picks up in the centre circle, tries to feed it forward for Duke. Duke's in behind, looks like he might be offside, but he'll continue for now. Slipped by Smith at the edge of the box, back into the path of Majowski, slots in, it's a goal! Now the flag goes up as Majowski celebrates with the Aberdeen fans who spill onto the pitch to celebrate. Their celebrations will be curtailed as the stewards try to gather them in. Majowski slots it past Ross Laidlaw, and VAR will have a look. It did look to me like Duke had just gone offside, and so we await the VAR decision.
Yeah, it did. We've got a great view of it there, and unless the angles tell us differently, because we do get a few squiggly lines on VAR from time to time, he did look at least a yard offside there.
Goal for Aberdeen, scored by number 9, Bojan Nielsen.
No, we're just getting the check just now as Ewan Anderson waits confirmation. Ross Laidlaw is certainly preparing to take a free kick.
There's nobody complaining about it, is there? I think they all know that it was offside. Yeah, I mean, why is it taking so long to make that decision?
Well, I'm just going to get a wee replay here. Yeah, I mean, it looks 2 or 3 yards offside from that replay, but as John said, you never be quite sure until you see the lines, and even then. It was a good finish from Majowski, good composure. That would have been his 18th goal of the season as well, to match Duke.
It was just too quick. It was just too quick off his mark. Duke in that occasion.
There's the thing. The announcer's giving it offside, and the referee's still not giving it offside.
That was the announcer just saying that that's what they're checking a couple of minutes after it had actually gone into the back of the net. Yeah, I mean, this is one thing that VAR do need to speed up, isn't it? Like, I mean, it's all very well if we think they're getting the right decisions, absolutely great, but they do need to.
Particularly this, though. Particularly this.
It must be tighter than we think, Willie, because I say it looked pretty straightforward that it was offside, but exactly, and the referee's still not giving it. Look, there you go.
No goal. Duke was offside before he played in Majowski, and it will remain Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1. Laidlaw takes the free kick, but it did seem to be.
No, but seriously, was that the tannoy that had to say it twice? So I thought they said that the first time.
No, I think they were just saying what they were checking.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a shocker by Ewan Anderson there. The boy Harmon's in goal and he's called it back for the free kick.
No.
I mean, let it play on. He's just too quick in the whistle there.
There will be a free kick to Ross County in a decent area certainly, but they had a number of these type of situations in the first half that they weren't able to make the most of. Can they do so at the start of this second period? It's over on the left hand side, about 10 yards outside the box, maybe on the angle. It's Danda and Harmon who are over it, looking to fashion an equaliser here for the home side. Danda on the right foot, or Harmon on the left. Harmon leaves it. It is Danda who whips it in. It's a dangerous one. Crowley, I think, got his head. No, it's McDonald got his head to it to clear it. Scales helps it on, but Sims picks up on the right hand side. Plays it into the feet there of Baldwin, but Baldwin's pass wasn't a good one, looking for Smith. And it's out of play for an Aberdeen throw. And again, Ross County's Achilles heel, John, has been their failure to capitalise on good situations.
Yeah, but it was interesting watching that free kick there. McDonald was organising defence. Great to see a leader, middle of the box, telling everywhere to go, telling them the spaces he wanted, where he wanted to go, and then he's the man that goes and wins the header. But it's been the story of the whole game. County have not been able to get on the end of a cross, and then when they've got the ball at feet, they've just lacked that bit of quality.
He's lost his balance, lost the ball. Sims fires it from the right hand side into the penalty area. It breaks as far as Danda, about 25 yards out to the left hand side to Harmon. Back with Danda once more. Into the penalty area it goes. It's McDonald who clears again. Majowski chests it down for Clarkson. Clarkson trying the weighted ball, looking for Duncan, and that's read well by Baldwin. Out to the left hand side it goes, and White gathers. Plays it back to Danda, left hand side for County, midway inside the Aberdeen half. Knocks it back to Laturi. Laturi tracked by Duncan into the centre circle, and beyond it goes. Dylan Smith having to backtrack before playing it forward into the chest of Sims. Sims finds Watson and gets it back once more. Randall to Sims, and Smith again. He'll go all the way back to his keeper to ensure that Ross County keep possession. Laidlaw just outside his box, plays it long, flicked on by Watson from the right hand side. Danda goes up, misses the ball. Shinnie gets to it, and then he's fouled, and it'll be a free kick to Aberdeen midway inside their own half. 52 minutes on the clock. Still Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
Yeah, I still think that Aberdeen need more of the ball, don't they? I think Barry Robson could possibly be looking at making some changes. Ryan Duncan really hasn't been involved that much, and I'm not too sure, you know, Duke being dragged way wide in this left hand side, whether that's the right position for him as well. He's spending most of his time tracking back the park too. I think maybe a more central position for him instead of where Ryan Duncan is, and maybe getting another midfield player on in there to kind of a bolster up the midfield, try to get a little bit of control in that middle area.
Laturi down near his own corner flag on the right hand side for County. Duke's putting him under pressure. Laturi still has it, plays it up the right wing, and then Sims is caught by Duncan, and it will be a free kick, and Ross County get out of a little tight spot there, and Laidlaw will come out to the right hand side and take the free kick. Certainly Barry Robson and his coaching staff deep in conversation. Liam Fox and Steve Agnew all out there trying to get more control in the game as Laidlaw sends the free kick straight out of play, and it will be an Aberdeen throw in. Malcolm Mackay indicating to Ewan Anderson where he wants it taken, and the referee obliging. Liam Scales goes back the way as Keller Ross clears, flicked on by Duncan. Majowski out-muscled there by the 16-year-old Dylan Smith, who I must say looks very assured for the tender years. Malcolm Mackay reckons he's a potential future captain of Ross County, and he's a big lad for 16, that's for sure. And also looks a decent player, more importantly, as Danda picks up just outside his own penalty area. Closed down by Clarkson. Semi blocks the clearance, McCrory picks up, but it'll break and out for a throw into Aberdeen over on the far side. 10 minutes gone in the second half.
Yeah, I think the second half was a little bit scrappier than the opening period. Neither team's really, as Willie said, nobody's got their foot in the ball yet, and that's down to a lot of closing play, but that's where you need your big players to step up, take that touch in the ball, be brave, play passes around people, try and drag other people out of position. Crowley driving into the box, he goes down. The Aberdeen fans behind the goal howl for a penalty, didn't look to be anything in it. Clarkson gets a shot away, it's blocked about 8 yards
from goal. Hayes picks up just outside the penalty area, left hand side, comes back to Shinnie. Shinnie and Hayes combine once more on the left. Now Duke with his back to goal, about 30 yards out. Hayes once more takes control of the ball, then plays it across to Pollock, allowed to come forward from the halfway line. Looking for options, closed down by Danda, out to the right hand side to McCrory it goes. He cuts in field, midway inside the county half into the feet of Duke. He can't keep it under control, under pressure from Watson, and then Sims hammers it over the halfway line. Scales though in the way before White can get onto it. McCrory still up in an attacking position, gets his head to it, and it's out to Duke on the left hand side, up against Watson. A couple of step overs to the edge of the box, but he's closed down by Sims, and then Watson rather sklaffs his clearance out of play for an Aberdeen throw in left hand side, middle of the Ross County half.
Change coming.
Yep. Who's it going to be? Looks like Marley Watkins is the man who's been warming up and now getting the top on. So first change for Aberdeen, and is it Majowski who's trotting off?
That's been the changes recently, yeah. You know, when Watkins has come on, Majowski's come off. I'm a little bit surprised at that. You know, I thought when I was watching Watkins being shouted upon that he might go into a midfield area, you know, maybe Ryan Duncan coming off, but he plays it well, he takes it in well enough, he holds it up, Watkins, and I think that's what Barry Robson will be looking for.
Left hand side as Aberdeen come forward, the ball's gone back out of play, and it's a Ross County throw in now. Marley Watkins scored in Aberdeen's last win here. That was back in September 2020. And he's not a man who gets a lot of goals these days. And he's on for the closing 30-odd minutes as Aberdeen look to fashion another victory and take them that step closer to third place and the £6 million bounty. I mean, that's, Willie, in terms of an application for a job, if you can secure your club, I mean, I know it's about the prestige of finishing high up in the league and all that stuff, but you know, we do know that money talks, and for a club like Aberdeen or Hearts, for example, £6 million in addition on your turnover is absolutely massive, isn't it?
Absolutely, and you know, on the back of the last few years as well, where debt has been growing because of the pandemic, etc., and the fact that they spent quite a bit of money, you know, during the summer transfer window, you know, before the season started, to bring in what was basically a new team, and then, you know, bolster it with the signings during the winter break as well. You know, that £6 million it's a huge sum of money. If that's what they're going to get, it just makes a huge difference. I think if they finish, that £6 million is on the back of Rangers or Celtic winning the Scottish Cup, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's not guaranteed, but if that happens, I know I'm sitting beside an Inverness man here, better not make any assumptions.
No, you better
but it is huge.
Here's Duke, it's a good ball, it's McCrory advancing, edge of the penalty, it cuts onto the left foot, blocked as a sliding challenge comes in. It's a brilliant sliding challenge from young Smith. I don't know why McCrory did chop back onto his left foot. I thought he could have taken the shot on from the edge of the box on his right foot, but the chaps alongside me will know better than me as to why he might have chosen to do that, but the chance was gone.
I think it's only him that could answer that question.
100% agree. I'm thinking it's running, it's a bit like the Duke goal. The pace of the ball's running straight on. He doesn't need to break stride, just put your foot through it. Don't give the defender an opportunity to get back, because once you take that touch, as the man next to me will tell you, as a defender, that gives you a chance, and he's done great to block it.
Absolutely, couldn't understand it. I mean, it's onto his right foot as well. You know, why don't just blast it? And he had plenty of space as well and time, and I don't know, he just complicated the issue by taking it onto his left foot. And you're right, John, you know, that then gives the defender a little bit of time, and he smells the fact that he's got a chance here of blocking it. I didn't think there was a chance of that shot being blocked if Ross McCrory would have taken it with his right foot.
No, I absolutely agree. An hour gone, it was good defending nonetheless by Dylan Smith, who knocks the ball down the right hand side now. It comes off Liam Scales, and it's a County throw in. They still trail by a goal to nil, as they have done since the 17th minute when Duke put Aberdeen ahead. Ross County well in the game. Well, they will be looking to try to create some more opportunities to take advantage of the pressure they've had as Baldwin lines up a long throw in here from the right hand side. Plenty of County bodies in the box looking to get on the end of this one. And it comes. It's White who challenges for it, and Aberdeen head flicks it away though, and Duke gets onto it and just pokes it forward looking for Clarkson, but Randall tidies up and knocks it forward once more, and out of play over on the far side by Pollock. County throw in about 20 yards from the corner flag over on that left hand side with just over an hour gone in Dingwall. Ross County in desperate need of something from this game. Currently 2 points above Dundee United at the bottom and 1 behind Kilmarnock, albeit with a better goal difference than Killie, who welcome Celtic on Sunday. And County would have been hoping to get something from this game, take them above Kilmarnock, and hope they are beaten by Celtic at the weekend. Here is the throw in from the left hand side for County into the Aberdeen penalty area. Oh, it's brave, and it's a head knock for Angus MacDonald, and the Aberdeen Merricks are going to have to get on pretty sharpish, because it looked like he took a sore one there. He really put his head in a brave situation there, and has taken a knock and gets it clear for his side. And in fact the Aberdeen physio has been told that he's going to be okay. He looks a little bit groggy, but he is kneeling up now, Angus MacDonald. But Willie, as you say, that is the type of defending, the type of attitude that Aberdeen perhaps were lacking in the first half of the season.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think it is about application and attitude, and just being brave and doing your job. You know before you come to this fixture that you're going to be tested in there. Aberdeen are tailor-made to deal with it, but you've still got to handle the situation, and any corner, these long throw-ins as well. MacDonald on that occasion, as John mentioned earlier, he gets himself in just to the perfect position. He understands what needs to be done. He goes and he attacks it and he wins it, and he takes away the danger completely.
Shinnie climbing all over Conor Randall there, only a few yards away from the referee, and it will be a free kick to Ross County just a few yards inside their own half. County will just allow Laidlaw to come way out of his goal to take this one, and they'll throw a few bodies forward again, looking to pick up the scraps as Jordan White wins the flick on. Simon Murray's onto it, left hand side of the penalty. He has to turn away from goal, then knocks it back into the 6-yard box, and it's a header from Josh Sims, I think, got on the end of it, but it's straight into the arms of Ross, who's a comfortable take for the Dutch keeper in the end. Brilliant ball in from Murray, but if it was Sims who got the header in the end, he couldn't get enough power or accuracy on it to really trouble the keeper, and it remains Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
Yeah, it's County's best chance, and it's straightforward. Jordan White flicks it on, Murray goes in behind. It's a lovely little dinked up cross, and probably the last man that Malky Mackay wants to get on the end of that one is little Josh Sims coming in at the back post there. To be fair, he got up well above Johnny Hayes, but from 9 or 10 yards it's a very comfortable save for Roos. But again, it's more encouragement for County, and with just that one goal, the deeper this match goes into or deeper the game goes in, it puts pressure on Aberdeen to hold on. And
it's so important for them as well, isn't it? That point, if they can get a point out of this fixture, it just adds that little bit more pressure onto the teams round about them, and the fact that they got that result against St Johnstone, at the weekend as well, just gives you hope, and they're on a decent run too, so for that decent run to fall after having so much of the game as well, then it would be hugely disappointing for Ross County.
Free kick to Aberdeen taken by Kelleros just outside his penalty area. It was Marley Watkins and Jack Baldwin contesting that one. It's out for just a throw-in on the far side, the Ross County left, although Ewan Anderson just asking for play to be held up just for a moment. No, and that's if that's what they were checking, Willie, it's quickly over, which well, that's what we want to see. That's the kind of speed of checks ideally, especially those background ones. But nothing untoward as far as Greg Aitken-Navarre was concerned in that. Play continues down the left-hand side for County. They've played now, 65 minutes, and still the home side trail by a goal to nil. Throw in on the left-hand side. Aberdeen have lost just one of their last 7 games, albeit no wins in their last 3. You can make these statistics basically read any way you want, I've learned, as Aberdeen have a goal kick. Kelleros not in any great hurry, and well, Barry Robson said to me pre-match, didn't he, that he was expecting a tough game, and that's exactly what he's got.
He has, but you know, you would think that Ross County need to do something different, John. You know, it's just too predictable just now.
We've said that all along, will it's just launch it up, play for seconds. I thought Jan Dander coming on, they might try and get into his feet, and on a couple of occasions he's got on, he's tried to do what Clarkson's done with nowhere near the quality, get on it and pass it, but they've not changed it up in any way. They're throwing high balls in the box, and Aberdeen just keep heading them out.
Dander trying to make a bit of headway there, but Clarkson has it back off from Aberdeen. I've given it away again though, and it's Murray out on the left hand side trying to get control of the ball. Tracked there by Pollock, and it goes to Dander about 25 yards from goal, stepping away from Shinnie. Now it's Murray taking over, goes down to the edge of the box. No free kick given as Aberdeen pick up possession and try and come on the counter. It's Clarkson feeding Duke. Again, he eats up the ground. Smith, that's a brilliant sliding challenge from the young man to knock it out of play. He lived with the pace there of Duke and then slid in to knock it out of play. Good defending, but what about the challenge at the other end?
I thought the first one might have been a foul on Jan Dander. I genuinely did think that was a free kick. The referee's allowed Simon Murray to go on. He then looks to have gone down very easily. I don't think there's any contact there whatsoever, but Ewan Erson doesn't bring it back, and Aberdeen again on the break. And whilst we praise young Dillon there, and rightly so, young Dylan Smith, for his defending, he had a 4-yard start in Duke and he nearly got there. What a burst of pace that was.
Midway through the second half, still Aberdeen have a goal advantage. Shinnie sends it into the penalty. It's just over Watkins, who was arriving, and then McCrory comes in at the back post, way over on the far side, and moves away from Harmon. McCrory back to Clarkson. Clarkson stands up, but over the top, and for once Leighton Clarkson guilty of poor delivery, and it's a goal kick to Ross County. Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
You're allowed one, but no more. But he has been quality. He's been quality since he came to the club. You know, it's there for everyone to see, and the way he controls the ball, the way he controls midfield at times. You know, I still genuinely feel that they're missing Ramadani in there. I think they're missing his energy and his running power, and I don't think they're trying to play enough. I don't think they're trying to play enough through the midfield, Aberdeen. I think, you know, Barry Robson will be a little bit disappointed with that, because they haven't really controlled that area at all.
Ball's way down at the corner flag as Aberdeen defend. They have won themselves a throw-in on their left-hand side. Just a yard or two away from the corner flag. Malky Mackay, as he always does, patrols that touchline, barking orders incessantly for the 90 minutes, trying to get just a little bit more out of his players, a little bit more quality in the final third. You feel they need to take something from this game as Hayes hammers it forward, and Duke again will give chase. Baldwin well in front of him, and he just hammers it high and almost onto the roof of the stand. He knew that Duke was breathing down his neck there, and just had to get it clear.
It's a great weapon to have. I mean, if you're under pressure, and Aberdeen have, whether they've invited the pressure on them or whether it's County pushing the pressure forward, what an outlet that is. You can just, you know what, I'll put my foot through this, knowing that he's going to be chasing it down, and the opposition defenders are going to have to struggle to clear it with his pace. He's took them 60 yards down the park there by merely chasing down a punt. Here's Duncan on the left-hand side, just lets that come off Sims and out for a throw-in. County have got just about 20 minutes to try and find a way back into this game. Remember, the two previous meetings between the sides have ended in draws. Aberdeen with a slender advantage here in Dingwall as they look to consolidate and indeed improve their position in third ahead of tomorrow lunchtime's Edinburgh derby. What a mouth-watering prospect that one is. So much to play for there as Stevie Naismith takes charge of Hearts for the first time since the dismissal of Robbie Nielsen, and Lee Johnson under a little bit of pressure again after a poor run, having, it seemed, resurrected Hibs' season. That resurrection really started with a 6-0 hammering of Aberdeen, which ultimately cost
Jim Goodwin his job. Here's Duncan at the edge of the box, lets fly, just a couple of yards over the top. It's a powerful, fierce shot from the midfielder, but just lacked the direction, always rising, and it remains Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
I think a little bit more control from the youngster. I'm sure that'll come as he gets more experience. But again, Clarkson, clipping the ball up for Duke, and then Ryan Duncan just feeding off the scraps. I think get your head over it, try to just hit the target. I think he's trying to put too much pace on it. He's trying to hit it too forcefully when it really needed to be a little bit more culture behind that strike.
Yeah, Watkins fouling Baldwin over on the far side, the County left. Free kick given as County, I think, contemplate another change here. They have the ball at the back, and it's Smith just turning it back to Laidlaw at the edge of his 6-yard box. One touch and then long. Murray goes and tries to win that, but Scales jumps higher, heads it down, and Duke picks up under considerable pressure, manages to hold on to possession. Watson has a grab for his jersey, still has it. Then Hayes picks up for Aberdeen. Down the left it goes to Duncan. Can't get past Smith, who again makes a good intervention. Just at the edge of his own penalty area. It's out for a throw-in on the left-hand side for Aberdeen.
It's been better in the second half for Aberdeen. They've still been under a fair bit of pressure, dealt with it efficiently, but they've had more of the ball in the Ross County half.
Here's Watkins laying it back for Hayes. It's a decent ball in, headed away out of the penalty area it goes. It's a Wood Edwards who's going to come on shortly for Ross County for just under the last 20 minutes, probably around 20 when you consider injury time as well, as White runs it out of play over on the far side. Throw into Aberdeen more or less on the halfway line, and here comes that change, and it's going to be Laturi who will be replaced by Edwards. Again, it's a pretty attacking looking change, as Malky Mackay knows he really needs at least a point from this. Off comes Laturi, who's been tidy enough in the middle of the park. Edwards will just, Ross County hope, offer that little bit more attacking flair, and Nous as they look to unpick a fairly resolute Aberdeen defence. Aberdeen throw on the far side then, and it comes to the feet of Duke. A little flick to Duncan at the edge of the box, who weaves his way in, takes a loop off the underside of the bar and away to safety. So close to an Aberdeen second, and now County come forward on the counter. It's Edwards. The slip from Clarkson, Edwards out to the right hand side for Sims. Sims down the right, Edwards gives chase once more, but Clarkson's there ahead of him, just hammers it down the Aberdeen left. Duke will be beaten to it by Watson. Watson just plays it forwards. Aberdeen have it back once more. Clarkson knocks it clear. Aberdeen could have been more or less out of sight there. Denied by the frame of the goal as they come forward again. No, and it's McCrory this time, leading the chase into Duncan. Duncan lets it go for Hayes, though. Hayes tracked by Edwards. Still it's Hayes into the penalty area he goes. Across goal, he tries to pull it. Looked like he came off his arm and it came back off Watson. Duke gets the break of the ball, left hand side of the box. It's all happening here. Duke tries to stand up to the back post. An important header from a Ross County defender, takes it over the crossbar onto the roof of the net. My goodness, what a 60 seconds that was. Still 1-0 Aberdeen.
Yeah, it looks as though Aberdeen were beginning to take control of the game as well, and the Ryan Duncan effort was magnificent, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think a wee deflection.
Yeah.
I think that's what took the loop. The defender got a block and it's looped over the keeper, but great feat, just what you're saying, a wee bit more composure, and he's unlucky there. And then once more, great defending this time from County. Aberdeen corner, Ross County have certainly had more defending to do in the second half, haven't they? As Aberdeen look to try and extend their advantage, which they almost did a moment or two ago, for the ball to come crashing off the underside of the bar, and often you see that just spinning down and into the net, but it's spun the other way as the ball swept in at the back post, and the header comes in from Pollock, but it's an easy take for Laidlaw in the end. I think it might have been just creeping wide had he not got there in any case, but still 1-0 Aberdeen.
Yeah, it's just as well it didn't take.
There's been a goal, sorry Willie, I was just going to say there's been a goal at Queen's Park, so let's hear about that just in a moment as Ross County come forward. It's Harmon taking the shot on, flashes wide, Brian McLaughlin.
Queen's Park 1, Hamilton Accies 0. Grant Savoury on target, 16 minutes left. The ball played in from the left-hand side. Calf cleared away by the Accies defence. It fell at the feet of Savoury. One touch to control. His second buried it in the back of the net. Queen's Park 1, Hamilton 0.
Thanks, Brian. That could be huge. Queen's Park looking to stem a run of defeats and get themselves back on form for the title run-in. Still very much in contention, albeit Dundee, you'd have to say, in the box seat now for automatic promotion in the Championship. Some big games again tomorrow. But here, just had another look at that Ryan Duncan effort. Did take a deflection off the county defender who was grounded at the time, but a crucial intervention as it turned out. Might well have ended up in the back of the net but for that, and almost did in any case, as Aberdeen look to try and make the points safe.
It's looking like it as well, isn't it, from an Aberdeen point of view? You know, they're in the game, they're kind of a controlling the game. I think Ross County are struggling to, you know, make the impact that they have done for the majority of it. The last 10 minutes or so have been about Aberdeen, you know, and the opportunities that they've had, the chances they've had, and certainly that one from Ryan Duncan, and they had the shot beforehand as well, so it has been coming, and it looks as though, you know, Aberdeen have got their tails up. The confidence is there, the run of results that they're on, and the quality that they've got out there is beginning to show.
We're going to get another attacker on here in the shape of Josh Stones, who's replacing Josh Sims for the closing 13 minutes plus added on time. So Malky Mackay really going for broke in the closing stages. Young man from Wigan making just his 4th appearance for County, who are defending an Aberdeen free kick on the left hand side here. Hayes and Clarkson standing over it. 6,000 and more inside the Global Energy Stadium, which is pretty impressive given that this game is also live on television as well as radio. Ross County have defended the free kick and won themselves. Over on the far side it was Stones who won it. Well, they've got 12 and a half minutes to try and shape an equaliser. Aberdeen similarly have that length of time to just hold out, or indeed just make the game that bit more comfortable in the run-in if they can get a second. Free kick then to Ross County, left-hand side. Harmon takes it into the penalty area. It goes. Ross comes, two-fisted punch to the edge of the penalty area. Edwards gets a first touch on it, but then has to chase it. It's gone out of play, in fact, in the end. Probably just as well for Edwards it went out of play off his second touch, because it might have broken into a dangerous position as Aberdeen tried to come forward. Throwing into Aberdeen just inside their own half, left-hand side. 1-0. Barry Robson's side lead as they look for yet another victory under his stewardship. Scales forward, flicked on by Watkins. Duke trying to get away from Smith. Hits the goal line. Smith still with him though. Left-hand side of the penalty area. Still Duke, cuts it back. Clarkson gets the shot away over the top from the midfielder as Aberdeen press once more.
It's brilliant, isn't it, from Duke? I mean, the pace that he's got going down that left-hand side there, the trickery he's got as well, the ball control that he's got, and the vision to pick out Clarkson as well. Clarkson puts it over the bar, but a better striking goal, that would have been something to talk about, I think, something superb. But yeah, he's got a lot in his locker.
These two as well, Willie, seem to have a relationship. Clarkson's always looking for Duke first and ahead of Miofsky. And even there, he's looking about. He knows who he's trying to pick out. It's Clarkson arriving at the edge of the box. Shinny's the quiet one that's sitting. But I mean, it's a great relationship. You're right. I mean, he's got the full package. He's got a little bit of everything.
There was a yellow card a few minutes ago, incidentally, for Ryan Duncan. As Aberdeen pick up on the far side, it's McCrory, more or less on the halfway line. Swept up though by Baldwin. Scales returns it over the halfway line. Baldwin should be able to knock that clear again. Just needs maybe a bit more composure though from County in the last 10 minutes to try and create something. that will really meaningfully trouble Kelly Ross, who hasn't really been forced into a good save, you might say, all night, as Edwards picks up for County. A couple of comfortable saves, nothing that has really troubled him. Randall gets it back to Watson. 10 to play then in Dingwall. County could really do with finding a leveller and taking at least a point from the game. Dundee United up against Motherwell tomorrow, and Killie host Celtic on Sunday as Aberdeen win themselves a free kick down in front of Malky Mackay's technical area. It has been a pretty scrappy second half, John. You said it earlier on, and it's not really got out of that bit in this second period, but I suppose that suits Aberdeen, given that they're in front.
As long as you're winning, of course it suits you. That's the whole point. And I've said that, Warsler said Kel Roos has had not a great deal to do. Neither has had Laidlaw in the other goal. It's not like he's had loads of saves. I mean, Aberdeen they've hit the bar, on the other side of the bar with the deflection. They've got their goal. But Willie's right. Aberdeen have managed this game very, very well. They look really solid. We said that Barry's building from the back. He's making sure they're tough to beat. But County have just, for all the ball that they've had, all the possession they've had, and touches in and around the opposite box, they've not really created anything. You've thought, that was a chance.
Laidlaw has it just outside his penalty area, launches it again, looking for Jordan White. Josh Stone's up there as well. He's got a bit of an aerial threat. 8 minutes to go of the 90. Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1. County have a throw-in, which Baldwin will try and launch. It's pretty deep, but he'll try and get this into the penalty area or close to it if he can. Ross County have got just about everyone except Conor Randall forward. Randall offers himself short, actually, which might be a better option, but Baldwin waves him away and launches it, and he does get it into the penalty. It comes off the head. It's Stones on the turn, and he flashes it wide. The substitute, a couple of yards wide, I think, in the end, chested it down and brought it under control well, but wide in the end, and it remains County 0, Aberdeen 1.
It was a decent effort. I mean, I didn't think the throw-in would reach that far, to be perfectly honest. A little flick on, and then Stones takes it on his chest, and probably for the first time in the game there isn't a central defender right on top of him or blocking it. He just didn't get it in target. I think it comes off the outside of his boot rather than the instep. It's not a pure strike, it's one on the outside, and it kind of drifts away from the goal, and it maybe ended up a couple of yards past, but it was a decent opportunity.
Here's Randall, middle of the park, being chased down by Shinney, but he gets the pass off, and a good one for Edwards, right hand side, away from Scales, who dived in, and then the next player diving in is Johnny Hayes, who's taking a chance, being on a yellow card, but he got that absolutely right and forces it behind for a corner kick to Ross County on this right hand side.
Good covering for Johnny Hayes, I'm telling you, because I don't know what Scales thinking about. He takes himself right out of the game, but Johnny Hayes in behind him, covering the centre back. He took a little bit of a chance, because if he misses that, he's off the park, that's for sure. But it was a good challenge, good tackle.
Danda right hand side with the corner then. 6.5 minutes to play. Can Ross County find a leveller? It's another corner that's been met first by an Aberdeen head. There's bodies, both navy blue and white shirts, down in the box, but Edwards continues on the left hand side, sends it back too high for everyone in a Ross County jersey, but then Leighton Clarkson takes a heavy touch and knocks it out of play on this near side. Throw into Ross County. It'll be another opportunity for Baldwin to come across and get this into the penalty area. It's desperation time for County. This one's taken short to Danda. Danda, the right hand side. He sends it into the box. Flicked on, I think, by Murray, but it's a header from the edge of the penalty, and it's going to have to be absolutely perfect to beat Kelleros from that kind of distance. And in this instance, it wasn't. It was a decent but comfortable save yet again from Ross, and it remains Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
Yeah, but again, Aberdeen's starting position, they're not dropping deep. Other teams might panic a little bit and get deeper and deeper, get back to the penalty spot. But no, Aberdeen have held the 18-yard line there, so when Murray did flick it on, it was very comfortable for Kilroos.
McCrory at the edge of the penalty area, breaks for Shinney. That wasn't too far away. Again, always rising, just a yard over the top maybe. Caught it cleanly enough. But again, just over the top as Aberdeen still search for a second potentially crucial killer goal. 5 minutes to play, County 0, Aberdeen 1.
Yeah, it's worth a strike, isn't it? And when you think Aberdeen are defending that situation, and all of a sudden it's actually McCrory that's setting up the opportunity for Shinnie. Maybe not noted for his strike from 30 plus yards or whatever that was, but he got plenty of power behind it. Just needed to get his head over a little bit and keep it down.
Goal kick to be taken by Laidlaw. Under 5 minutes to play. Watson flicks it on. Edwards 2. It's Stones down the right hand side, hitting the byline. Still Stones. Can he keep it in? He's managed to do so under pressure from Johnny Hayes. Cross comes Shinnie to help. Edwards slips as he collects the pass, and Shinnie just knocks it out of play. Throw into Ross County. Watson will leave it for Baldwin once more. As the long throw will come into use once more. Baldwin gives it a good wipe on the jersey before trying to get this into the box. Danda again offers himself shot, but this one will go into the penalty area from Laidlaw. To the near post it goes. Scales and Duncan force it clear. Out of play once more. Another throw in to Ross County. Down the line this one goes from Baldwin to Edwards. He's lost his footing again, but he's managed to get away from Edwards. Good play away from Duncan, I beg your pardon. It is Edwards, right hand side, but then he runs into further trouble in the shape of Johnny Hayes. Brilliant play from the wing back, and now it's Duke mounting the counter attack. Can Aberdeen kill Ross County off once and for all? It's Duke crossing the halfway line, just takes the pace out of that counter and allows players to get up and support, but also Ross County players to get back and defend. Here's Shinnie now, left hand side, away from White, still going on the left as Baldwin steps in. Edwards gets it to Danda. Danda allowed to continue, plays it forward down the right channel for Simon Murray. Murray looking for options, not too many in the penalty area, has to hold it up. Now he sends it back post. Stones will go and try and retrieve that overhit, but Stones does manage to get it back to Harman. Harman left hand side into the box, away by Pollock. Danda picks up, can't bring it under control, he's robbed, and Duke's back there again defending, edge of his own box, looking to get it clear. Harman, he's won it back though, done well Harman. Out to the left hand side, Stones can't get it in. Aberdeen just knock it away out for a throw and over on the far side. 2.5 to play. County 0, Aberdeen 1.
He's playing right back now, Duke. I mean, he's covered every blade of grass on the field. Okay, he gave it away, but he's over there, he's helping out his defence. It was just a few seconds ago he was up here on the left hand side, just taking the steam out of things, using the intelligence that he's got, and then the next minute he's back at right back area helping his defence out.
He's all action, isn't he? Here's Baldwin left hand side into the penalty area, repelled by Shinnie. Baldwin wins the header on the left hand side. Randall's giving it away. Here comes McCrory, right hand side for Aberdeen. Duke's over on the left if he can find him, but back goes Randall, barges him to the ground, and it's going to be a yellow for Randall.
But lucky, I think he's just looked shoulder to shoulder there, and he was that little bit stronger. He's not making a big deal of it, so that may be an indication, but it looked just shoulder to shoulder, and Randall won that little challenge.
Yeah, not an awful lot in it certainly, but enough for Ewan Anderson to feel that he needed to blow as Aberdeen make a late change here to bring Hayden Coulson on, and it's Duke who's going to be replaced, and he has been once again absolutely superb, and as things stand he's going to be the match winner for Aberdeen. A little bit of time before we can say that for sure, but he has more than played his part once more, Willie Miller, in what could be another precious victory for the Dons.
He's been exciting. His pace is frightening. I think as a defender you're looking at him and you're worried all the time whenever he's got the ball at his feet, or even when he doesn't have the ball at his feet, if he's running in behind. But the other side of his game tonight as well, the fact that he's a huge team player, the amount of work he did, the amount of the yards that he covered. He was defending at left back, he was defending at right back, he was taking the sting out of things just prior to defending on both sides of the park. But it's the exciting part of his game, the exciting part of his game, which is what he does with the ball when it's at his feet, when he takes players on, the control that he has, the vision that he's got, and that pace is just frightening.
Just about played the 90. We await the fourth officials board here to see how much added on time there will be as Ross County try and mount an attack, but Shinnie's in the way. Murray comes across the block at 5 minutes of added on time, and we're into that right now. Barry Robson's face tells me he thought there should be fewer than 5, but feels more or less a bit right given the substitutions that have been made and so on. Not too many injury stoppages, right enough, albeit there was a couple of VAR checks as well. So 5 minutes sounds about spot on as Watkins has it and spreads play out to the right hand side for McCrory inside the Ross County half. Harmon goes across to meet him. McCrory in no rush to go forward. In fact, he turns and goes back the way to Pollock. Pollock slides it forward, but he's giving it away to Baldwin, who's on his toes there to anticipate the pass. Played forward early. Stones looks to pick up the pass. Shinnie again in the way. He's just gone about his business quietly in there. Graham Shinnie breaking play up for Aberdeen as County try and come forward again. Danda though has to go back the way to his captain Watson, who in turn turns it back to Laidlaw. Laidlaw inside his penalty area. He's tended to go long so far this evening and does so once more, but again it's Pollock who wins the header. Shinnie wins the second ball. Watson knocks it forward for County down the right hand side. Hayes just lets that run out of play. He tried to. Edwards almost kept that in, you know, but the assisted flagging suggests it had crossed the line, and it will be an Aberdeen throw. And there's 3.5 minutes of injury time remaining, and Ross County still trail by a 1-0. And it could be another damaging defeat down there for them, and it will, you would have to assume, if things stay the way they are, John, it looks like it's going to go to the wire at the bottom of the league.
Well, it's always, the split is, you know, there's still lots to play for, because you say you've got to play each other. It becomes the proverbial 6-pointer. Everybody plays. That's the, whilst, you know, some people don't like the split, some people do like the split. It certainly brings a lot of pressure and a lot of tension at both ends of the table. Not so much this year Celtic or Cousin, you know, there's still a battle for the European places, but down at the bottom, dearie me, it's fraught and it's nervous, but it does breed excitement.
Yeah, drama certainly, as Baldwin prepares to take another throw in right hand side, about 20 yards from the corner flag on the County right. Into the penalty area it comes. Up there goes Watson, but again it's an Aberdeen head who gets it semi-clear at least. Comes out to Edwards on the right hand side, he just nudges it back. Baldwin and Shinnie contest the 50-50. Shinnie wins it and Baldwin's gone down clutching his shin. He's taking a sore one in that. It will be an Aberdeen throw, and I think Baldwin might need a bit of treatment here in the dying seconds of injury time. Felt the full brunt of that Shinnie challenge. Neither player was going to pull out of it, and Baldwin and Ross County are running out of time here. Baldwin has got back to his feet. He won't need any treatment. It will be an Aberdeen throw, and we are now in the final minute, a final couple of minutes of stoppage time, as Aberdeen look to see out the victory. 1-0 they lead thanks to Duke's goal in 17 minutes. It has been a resolute performance from Aberdeen at times, particularly in the first half. Some really stout defending, and Ross County just haven't had the guile and craft and know-how to pick them apart when they were on top. Second half has probably been a more even affair. Maybe even Aberdeen have edged it, as there is a check ongoing here actually. I'm guessing it's for that challenge there between Shinnie and Baldwin, as Ewan Anderson holds his finger to his ear listening to the VAR Greg Aitken. Is there anything in it for either of you two? Oh, there's maybe a wee go over the ball there.
No, I don't think he goes over the ball. No? I think it's his follow through might be. They seem to be in control, but I don't think there's enough there for a red card. And that's what they can only check red card.
Yeah.
It's caught him high in the ankle, but I don't think it's enough.
He's away to have a look at it.
Oh, he is going to have a look at it.
Yeah.
Could be a bit of late trouble here for Graham Shinnie, who was sent off for the first time in his career, I think it was, just recently, and sat the last game out after the second yellow against St Johnstone. That was in injury time. This is probably even deeper into injury time.
I don't think it's enough for me. I like the fact the referee's been asked to look at it just to be sure that he's comfortable, but I don't see enough in that to be a red card.
Well, Ewan Anderson is going to have another look, and he is made the sign of the screen. Yeah, it's going to be a red. It's a red for Graham Shinney in injury time. We've played the 5 minutes of stoppage time. It might not ultimately mean anything for Ross County, but they do have a free kick in a dangerous position on the right hand side. Now this could be highly dramatic if County can pull themselves level here with what might well be the last attack of the game. Shinney dismissed for the challenge on Baldwin. Ewan Anderson deeming him to have gone over the ball as Danda, right hand side, sends in the free kick, near post, ball's nodded down, comes to Murray's in there. Does that come off a hand inside the penalty area from an Aberdeen player? It's, faint claims at least, but nothing much more than that, as it's cleared away and out for a throw into County. Baldwin will line one up once more. It might be his last chance to do so. In fact, he goes back the way to Randall. Randall on the halfway line, forward for Danda. Danda right hand side, he needs to get into the penalty area. I'm not sure why they took the short throw in that time when they needed to get forward. Here's Watkins, who's won it for Aberdeen. Gives it away infield though. Edwards picks up, 25 yards out, been encouraged to shoot, blocked again. Another great block. It was Matty Pollock who was the man in the way, as he has been so often this evening. Edwards comes forward once more down the left hand side, challenged by McCrory. Aberdeen have won it back. They just need to see this out now. We've played 6.5 minutes of stoppage time. Aberdeen down to 10, but they lead by a goal to nil in the dying seconds in Dingwall. Have Ross County got one last attack in them to try and force an equaliser? They've got the ball on the halfway line. It's Baldwin, he needs to get it forward. Clips it into the edge of the penalty area, looking for White. Comes off the head of Pollock. Out for a corner kick on the far side. Surely this is the last chance for County. Corner on the far side, the County left. Ross Laidlaw asking, should I go up for this? Surely, might as well. He's been told to stay back. To stay back. County though throwing absolutely everyone else forward as they search for a precious equaliser. Corner kick then from the left hand side. Aberdeen leading by a goal to nil. Clinging on in these last few seconds though with 10 men. Danda's corner hoisted to the back post. White was looking to get on the end of it, but Pollock was there first, as he has been so often this evening. Ewan Anderson takes a look at the watch. We're into the 8th minute of added on time. One last throw in from Baldwin perhaps from the right, and it comes to the penalty area. Watkins with a header clear. Baldwin returns it to the edge of the box. Aberdeen can't get it fully clear. Ross County pick up once more. Randall out to the right hand side. Can Baldwin get it back in? Into the penalty area it comes. Scales gets it clear. Throw in once more. Aberdeen asking how much more added on time are we going to play here? We've played 3 minutes beyond the 5 that were added. But we have had that Shinney red card. There was a lengthy stoppage for that. It's going to be a corner kick on the right hand side for Ross County. Rian Danda, right hand side. Is there one final bit of drama in this game? Again, it's an Aberdeen head that gets to it. Surely now Ewan Anderson must blow the final whistle. Murray tries to return it, but there goes the full-time whistle. And it's a hard-earned 3 points for Barry Robson in Aberdeen. Duke with the only goal of the game after 17 minutes. Ross County tried and gave it all they could, but they could not force Kelleros into a meaningful save all night, despite having swathes of pressure at time, particularly in the first half. And then late on, after the dismissal of Graham Shinney, after VAR, Greg Aitken had pointed Ewan Anderson towards the screen to invite him to have another look at a challenge on Jack Baldwin. That was deemed to be red. But in the end, it's counted for naught as far as Ross County were concerned. They couldn't find an equaliser, and so they remain immersed in the relegation mire. As for Aberdeen, 5 points clear of Hearts in 3rd place ahead of tomorrow's games. It finishes in Dingwall. Ross County 0, Aberdeen 1.
This is Sports Sound.
BBC Radio